Hey, gang, it's Dr. Steve again. Welcome to another Wake Up Humans podcast. This one has come by popular demand. Podcast number 143, 143. I can't believe we've done that many podcasts in such a short period of time. But I'm coming off a couple weeks ago, a big Dynamic Essentials weekend. And what came out of my talk was an experience I've had when I spoke at the school a couple days before. My good friend Dr. Eddie Martinez and I are relaunching what's called Mission Upper Cervical, where we're going out and we're going to be teaching chiropractors and helping them refine their skills, adjusting, communicating upper cervical chiropractic care in a principle loving, nurturing manner. And we were back on campus, which was really neat. It's a funny thing to be standing in front of these kids, we'll call them, and realize I was in those chairs 20 years ago and how much has changed in 20 years and what a blessing it is. You know, we talk about setting goals and setting your standard and your vision, and to wake up 20 years later and realize that it's all happened and then some. So, in future podcast things we're going to be doing is a lot of what you think, what you create, what you see, what you're doing today, manifesting itself 20 years from now. And I'm here to tell you, a lot of times people don't start the journey because it seems like it's so far away. It's going to take too long. One thing, they told me I would never get through chiropractic school. I wasn't smart enough. And I came to the realization, I said, I'm going to wake up and be 30 years old someday. And I'm either going to say I did it or I should have done it. And if you quit in life on dreams and goals, and you keep doing it because you listen to the negative mind people and the haters, etc., then you're screwed. And you're gonna should have all over yourself one day and realize I should have, I should have, I should have. So I'm here to tell you, if it seems hard, the journey seems hard. If you put the goals in writing and you put the action steps in writing, you'll wake up 20 years from now and be blessed that you actually did it. So walking through Life University, there was a display case for the athletic teams, and there was a numbered jersey. I believe it was a rugby jersey that they had up, and it was the number 43. And it stopped me in my tracks because the number 43 is very important to me. And for those of you that have read the book Wake Up Humans, you hear me talk about Ronnie's story and what he went through. And I think it was one season he was the number 43. And it wasn't his number all through high school, et cetera. I want to say it was one of his earlier seasons. And I have a picture of him in the jersey, number 43. And it just anchors me to a memory. And I'm here to tell you, in the past, I would see the number 43 and it would hurt. It would make me sad. It would bring back memories, moments as children, things we would do together. And then the loss, he had the brainstem injury. No one educated my family on chiropractic care, upper cervical chiropractic care, principal chiropractic care, until one day by accident, I went to a Dynamic Essential seminar, my first quarter of chiropractic school. Someone shared the message with me and said I should be there. So I went. And this past DE took place at that hotel. So you're talking almost 24, 25 years later that I'm back in that hotel speaking on the same stage that I heard the message. And when you go into this hotel, there's a huge escalator that runs up to the conference room. And my first time at this conference, Dynamic Essentials, I thought they were a bunch of Fruit Loops. I thought, all the hugging and singing and jumping on chairs, it wasn't for me. I got scared and I walked out of the conference room 3 or 4 times and headed towards those escalators. And something pulled me into the bathroom. To the right of the escalator is the men's room. And I walked in there and I think I peed the first time. The next 2 or 3 times I just pretended to because I didn't know what the hell to do. Until I ended up back in the room and I'm standing pinned against the wall, and Dr. Michael Kale gets up and starts talking about BJ Palmer, his research with chiropractic from 1935 to 1951, the brainstem, the atlas, what it entails. And then he started talking about Clearview Sanitarium, which was a chiropractic psychiatric hospital. And he literally transformed people's lives, people that had head and neck injuries. They would do upper cervical x-rays. They would clear them out. And they said it was like waking up from a dream. And I cried like a little bitch. And I was frozen against the wall. And I found my purpose right there. Through my pain in life and quote unquote losing my brother, God sent that one man to send me the message that I look back now propelled me in a whole different direction. So walking through the campus of life and seeing the number 43 brought the memories back, brought Ronnie back. But I was able to stand before the shirt, and instead of crying, instead of getting sad, I felt empowered. Like these freaking kids need to learn this message. They need to hear the story. They need to know about Clearview Sanitarium. They need to know about the research of chiropractic. The days of not believing in chiropractic are over. Chiropractic has become essential for expression of life. Getting your atlas cleared out on a regular basis, make sure you're not subluxated, has become essential for expression of life. It's beyond the pain and the aches, and it's more the emotions, the mindset, the physicality of your soul and your connection, to the man upstairs. That if you have a clear brainstem and that cerebral spinal fluid is flowing to its fullest potential, you make a clearer decisions, healthier decisions. We don't need to tell our patients what to eat, how to sleep, how to stretch. They know, innately they know. But if you're subluxated and you're disconnected from the source. You're disconnected from that thing that created you from a sperm and an egg, that your body can't perform to its fullest potential and you're deteriorating. So we got to get this message out there to people, because like myself, if by accident I didn't stand in the back of that room and stay in that room for some reason, that at that time I didn't know what that was. It was, Dr. Sid, it's that voice within that he talks about listening to. And I share a story a lot with chiropractors where, when I was a baseball player and I was pitching, there was a game we were playing a really good game, and I was getting razzed by the other team. And they were a good team, and they had some big boys that could hit, and the number 4 hitter was coming up, and I was a little shaken in the beginning. I beamed the first guy by accident. I beamed the second guy by accident, walked the third guy, and here comes their meathead, their big hitter. And he gets to the plate and he points the bat at me and he said, "You better not hit me." And he threatened me. And I think it's the first time I really heard that voice from within, and it told me to beam him. And I looked over at the dugout at my coach, and he shook his head like, "Don't do it." And the feeling just overcame me, and I beamed him. And I got a mound rush, and I was on the bottom of a pile, and I just laughed and laughed as I was getting kicked and hit. And it was a beautiful thing. But that second time where I really heard that voice within is when Dr. Kale got up there and started sharing the message, and hearing Dr. Sid talk about finding your passion and purpose in life, and finding that place where that voice within starts telling you this is what you're destined to do. This is what you're designed to do. And now being in practice for almost 20 years and dealing with patients who wake up once they get their atlas clear and they start hearing that voice within. I joke with people, I say, I hear voices, but they're good voices. It's not schizophrenia. It's basically that voice within propelling me forward to say, listen to your dreams, think big, put action to it. And when you start listening to that, it's massive. So standing before the number 43 was really kind of like a pivotal moment for me when I stood there at Life University, realizing that, as you come through the valley of death, right? You come to that space where you could choose to stay down in that valley or come through it, because down in that valley is a lot of times where the streams are, right? It's where the nurturing is. You're not getting full of light all the time down there in the valley, but there's enough nutrients, enough resources to connect to that could give you the energy and the vision to propel yourself out of that valley. So it's not the valley of death, but it's the valley of growth. It's the valley of perseverance. It's the valley of vision, where I was able to stand before the 43 and realize that it's that number, it's that experience that woke me up to my passion and purpose in life. And selfishly so, I would never say I'm happy it happened to Ronnie and it took place. And never. I would give it all away today if God came in and said, "Hey, I'm going to put his normal brain back and you could have it all, and you're going to go off and lose everything." I would say, "Let's do it. I'm good. I'll figure it out. I want my brother back." But I'm never going to get my brother back. The system gobbled him up. They drugged him, doped him. His brain shrunk. He's still an awesome human being, loving, nurturing. He's still alive. But, it's that foresight to be able to look at that and see what taking that experience and listening and healing from within, that I could stand in front of that jersey and smile and not cry sadness, but smile joy that, all right, God, we're taking this to a higher level to be able to use these resources so more people don't have to suffer that way. And when I was sharing this story from the platform at DE, many people came up to me afterward. Many people messaged me on social media. Some people texted me and they said, Steve, You realize what the number 43 represents? And I said, no. And they said, it represents love. Love you. Love, 4 letters, you, YOU. The number 43, whether it's numerology, I don't know where they get this stuff. And it was funny because my wife said, back in the day, she would give me hand signals like 43 to say love you from across the room. And the 143 is I love you. And it's like your brother's telling you, man, I love you. And when he stopped you in the hallway to let you know, I love you, pal. I'm here with you. I'm here with you in spirit. So, that 43, I'm getting that shit tattooed on my arm. And I'm here to ask you, what's your number? What's your anchor? What's your resources? We got patients all the time coming in with suffering and pain. And it's like, you're either going to let that shit burn you up, tear you up, let them dope you up and shut down your emotions, or you're going to look in the mirror and recognize it and say, the shit ain't going to tear me up. It's not going to grind me down. It's going to make me grow. It's going to let me find that voice within with what can I do with this? Let it be diesel fuel to your fire for your life. Otherwise, your life is screwed, man. Do you want your life to be screwed? Do you want your children's life to be screwed? Do you want them to see a walk and expression of life that sucks, that's weak, that's a pushover, that's sensitive, that's doping yourself up because you're not happy, doping yourself up because you can't sleep, doping yourself up because you're angry? Or are you going to do a gut check and look in the mirror and say, I'm not letting the bastards grind me down. And I'm going to take this and heal from it and help others heal from it. And that's what we have to do as a society, is take that and have an open line of communication to help others heal, to help others love, to find that 43. Because, I've said it in the past, what is love? LOVE, life's only vital expression. And if we could get back to that as a country, as a freaking world, as I speak, I got friends in Canada. I haven't seen it. It's like they're in world jail. They're not allowed to leave. It's unacceptable. They're disconnecting us, right? They're social distancing / destroying us. And we got to rise up and say enough's enough. We got to get back to love. We got to get back to, experience and conversation and have the hard conversations. And instead of bashing the conversations and disagreeing with the leadership conversations, is find the conversation within that we can lead each other, lead our families, be better men and women. One of the things I want to do that's hit me this week is I want to have a men's weekend where we get raw. We talk about love. We talk about marriage. We talk about being a better father, being a better leader, being a better lover, connecting with your spouse, connecting with your children. Get off the drugs, get off the alcohol, stop the bullshit because you're burying your emotions from your childhood, from your past, and have this conversation to say, if I told you to tattoo something on your hand, I got life tattooed on my hand. I'm going to tattoo 43. Why? Because it anchors me. It anchors me. So when I have that shitty day where things are rising up, I go, God, we got this, man. It's part of our mission. It's part of our purpose. So when I lay my head down and it's my final breath and my kids look over me and they say, you son of a gun, you did it. We're proud of you. And you raised us to be kick-ass human beings that are powerful. We're not victims. We're going to rise up and help others. We're going to serve others. We're going to grab others by the hand and pull them out of the valley to rise up to the mountaintop to learn how to be awesome, abundant, thriving human beings in God's likeness, because that's how he created us. So for all of you that reached out to me with the 43 and said, Steve, this is a sign. Listen, you hit me with that, man. You hit me in the sternum. You know who you are. Kathy and Jamie and Kathy Colby, Jamie Gulper, and you guys were right on it. You got right to me and you got me thinking. And Jamie, you called me out and said, hey, number 143 is coming up. I'm not that smart to realize that 143 was coming up. And you're the main reason I'm doing this right now is because I know I feel empowered. I'm hearing that voice as I'm speaking. This message right here could wake your ass up and transform many people in their own little universe. So share this message, get it out to people. Let's start having the hard conversation. Let's connect regularly. And you know what? Let's put a weekend together where we all get together and come together. For example, you don't have to be a chiropractor to come to DE, right? You could be a lay person who just wants to go here, be around positive, like-minded people, get on a plane and come. The next one is in Clearwater, Florida in April. In the summer in August, we're in Atlanta. Let's connect. Let's help you and your family thrive and find your 43, man. Because once you find that 43 and you start listening from within and not from without, you're going to transform your life and those around you. God bless you. I love you. There's nothing you can do about it.